Good evening. Stefan is on assignment this week, and we begin tonight with the latest on a large evacuation in the city's south end after a tanker truck carrying propane crashed last night, tipped over onto its side and started leaking. Hundreds of people were forced out of their homes after taking shelter in a nearby community center until the all-clear hours later. Ottawa Fire Services say a connection hose on the truck was actively leaking fuel after the crash. It happened on Parkway Road near Cedar Lane in the Greely area just before 7 p.m. Ottawa police confirming today the driver has been charged with careless driving under the Highway Traffic Act. CTV's Griffin reports.
This dash camera capturing the moment a propane tanker truck hits the ditch and overturns in Greely.
The sound was like a hissing sound, like a very loud sound.
Tricia Presley heard the crash on Parkway Road Tuesday night, rushed out and called 911.
At first, we didn't really think about that. And then when he said, you have to leave, like now, we were like, oh my gosh, yeah, there's propane leaking. We got to go. So we frantically just grabbed a bunch of stuff.
The truck was carrying 7,000 liters of propane. It was leaking.
The truck was breached. One of the hoses broke off, so it did have about a 1-inch hole.
Several homes within an 800-meter radius urgently evacuated.
The problem is with our hazmat team doing air detection and atmospheric monitoring, we can see it was at a level that could be flammable. The other thing that happens is when a pressurized vessel is compromised, you can get an explosive event if there's an issue, and that's why it's so big.
Well, I kind of panicked, and then I just started grabbing whatever clothes I could and telling the kids, let's go, like we gotta go, come on, we have 10 minutes, let's go.
Residents sheltering at the Greely Community Centre for hours.
Somebody ordered pizza, and so that was really nice. 2:45, we were told, okay, the truck is on its wheels. You can go home.
I thought the city did an incredible job. I was really quite impressed. I've never seen a situation like that unfold.
Still, the area councillor says there are things to consider for next time after hotel availability issues and some hotels not being able to accommodate family pets.
Out here, it's pretty common for families to have dogs. So just these sort of considerations of how things may play out in a rural context that the city may not be fully ready for.
All residents were allowed back into their homes around 3:30 Wednesday morning. Katie Griffin, CTV News.
A 50% tariff on a number of Canadian goods was supposed to take effect today, but now they're on hold. Late last night, the U.S. president announced a 3-day pause after Canada and the U.S. struck a last-minute deal that Donald Trump says is good for both countries.
Yeah, we had a very good conversation with the Prime Minister last night, and we've come to a deal with Canada. As you know, the 50% tariffs across the board were going on against Canada today, and they called yesterday and they gave us the points that we had to have. Very fair deal for both. It's good for everybody, but our farmers are going to be thrilled, our manufacturers are going to be thrilled. And basically, we have no tariffs going into Canada anymore. Canada was charging us tremendous tariffs. We no longer have any tariffs. It's all subject to finalization of documents. So subject to the finalization of documents, we have a deal with Canada. And I think it's a very good deal for both parties.
The Prime Minister was very clear. We needed to protect supply management. We needed to ensure that the supply management regime remained entirely intact. And I'm confident that that's the case.
Dominic LeBlanc returned to Ottawa this afternoon to take part in meetings with the Prime Minister and Canada First Ministers to discuss the agreement. And with a new trade deal between Canada and the U.S. seemingly imminent, local businesses are holding their breath, hoping that improvements in one sector won't mean concessions in another. CTV's Dyson explains.
Thurler Farms south of Ottawa produces 18,000 liters of milk a day.
We sell the milk to dairy farmers of Ontario, and they send it to wherever it needs to go.
Most of it ends up as cheese on Canadian store shelves, but the latest trade talks between Canada and the United States has Thurler worried about cutting his production.
It's a very big concern because we already lost 18% of our markets through a different trade deal. We can't afford to lose any more of our market.
New tariffs on Canadian goods were postponed Tuesday night, and Wednesday came with word of an imminent new trade deal between Canada and the U.S., with the possibility of tariffs on different sectors reduced. Thurler hopes that doesn't come at the cost of dairy farmers.
It's very frustrating because we only have so much milk to produce for the needs of the country, and when they take some away, then we don't get those increases. We should get increases. If the demand goes up, it should come to us, not to other countries.
The uncertainty of tariffs also having a direct impact across sectors of Ottawa's local economy.
This level of unpredictability makes it difficult to know when to hire, when to invest, where your markets will be.
There are calls for a more permanent deal and one that would give Canada more autonomy.
We have to look for ways to support our own economy with our own procurement, and then also to expand markets beyond the U.S. We always will have to count on the U.S., but beyond the U.S. for businesses as well.
He says a thing one day and next day is different, so yeah, we don't pay too much attention, but when it comes down to the wire, there's something that's going to have to happen.
Dylan Dyson, CTV News.
All right, to have our first check of the weather right now, but a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam first. 16 degrees, clear conditions here in Ottawa. CTV's Jackie Perez standing by with a look at the forecast. Jackie.
Well, taking a look at the overnight conditions, could be cooling down to about 13 degrees. The good news is after all the rain that we received today and the isolated rain showers, we are anticipating clear skies that moves us into tomorrow. Yes, the daytime high is 24 degrees, but you can see by this, we are in for a chance of showers moving through. Isolated showers could be similar to today where we did see some pop-up thunderstorms or pop-up heavy rainfalls moving through, but it shouldn't last very long. Here's a closer look at what you can see in terms of conditions. The clear skies for the morning. Again, in the afternoon, those isolated showers could perchance hop in as well, but we'll get a closer look at this in just a bit.
Ottawa Police is requesting the public's help to locate a missing teen. There are concerns for her health and safety. Police released this photo of Nikita Morris Kopenas, who was last seen on August 16th around 11 p.m. at the Tunney's Pasture LRT station. Nikita is described as an Indigenous female, about 5'7", with a medium build, around 120 pounds. She has shoulder-length black hair with pink on one side and blonde tips on the other, and has scarring on her left arm. Nikita is known to frequent the downtown area, particularly the Rideau Centre and Byward Market. Anyone with information is asked to contact Ottawa Police. Healthcare workers rallied at the Queensway Carleton Hospital today, calling on the hospital to reverse dozens of planned job cuts. Earlier this summer, QCH announced it would be cutting 101 jobs, including 87 nursing positions. The hospital says the cuts are needed to address financial pressures. Today, CUPE and OPSU union members joined the Ontario Nurses Association rallying against the cuts, calling on the hospital to reverse them. Alex Lawson is promising to put rural infrastructure needs front and center in his mayoral campaign. Lawson unveiled his rural platform today, making 19 commitments across 6 different areas, including vowing more attention to roads and other city infrastructure, as well as increasing road safety. He says rural communities need a bigger voice at City Hall.
I wouldn't say that forgotten is a bad word. I mean, that is how a lot of the rural communities felt. Maybe not so much forgotten as not understood. I mean, the rural policy is going to do a lot of the same stuff that a lot of my other policies are going to be doing, right? It's going to be making sure that roads are safe. Roads are maintained. People feel like money's being spent on getting the basics right and protecting them.
Lawson wants to establish new service standards for farm business licensing and local ditch and drainage maintenance. Mark Sutcliffe, Neo Saranamutu, and Jeff Leeper are also running for mayor, along with Zed Shabib, Peter Westaway, and Suraj Harish. Election day is October 26th. Well, yesterday we told you about 2 people who say they were shown parking spots in person, paid thousands of dollars, and later lost access. Police say they've now received more than 20 similar reports. And in part 2 of our investigation, CTV's Katelyn Wilson tells us they all appear to be connected to one individual.
This is the person that referred to himself as Zach.
They knew him by different names, but Noah Banks and Kathryn Manley say this is the man who showed them a parking spot at 400 Albert Street. Both have identified him to CTV News as Samin Yasar.
When you meet someone face to face and you look in their eyes, like, I felt he was trustworthy and I was wrong.
Both say they paid close to $3,900 for parking. The difference? Manley used a visitor spot for about a month before her access was cut off.
I felt I needed just to do more, so I posted anonymously on Reddit and Facebook, and that exploded.
This is a contract I received for the
That's when others started reaching out, including Deepa Rao, a government worker who lives in Richmond.
What used to be a 45-minute commute is now an hour and 45. That made it impossible to use public transit.
She never met Yasar in person and says she knew him as Ziad, but the contract she signed was from Bytown & Co., the same one as Banks. She says she was about to pay more than $800 for a parking spot on Cooper Street back in July before her bank flagged the e-transfer.
While I'm on hold with them, I do a Google search of parking scams, and I add the company's name to it too. The summary that came up mentioned how there might be a parking scam going on.
And we spoke with another person who says Yasar showed her a parking spot here on Slater Street. She says she paid $1,800 up front, but the deal fell apart when she couldn't access the space. Police say they've now received more than 20 similar reports, all appearing to be connected to the same individual.
Right now, in the reports, we see one individual's name. We haven't completed the investigation to say if it's exactly him or if it's a fake account.
CTV News reached out to Yasar about the allegations. He denies it was a scam, calling it a business dispute, saying some people have received refunds, including banks. He says tenants at 400 Albert Street rented him the spaces, but did not hand over the fobs, calling these types of subleases a gray area, writing, "No building in Ontario, especially ones that are fully owned by a holding company, allows their parking spots or apartments to be subleased, but it is a transaction that still takes place on Marketplace, Kijiji, and other platforms on a daily basis." Centurion, which manages 400 Albert, says Yasar had no authority to rent or sublet parking there. As for Rao, she hopes speaking out will encourage others to do their research.
I was sought out by this guy. Certainly I want to be able to help other people find out that there is, in fact, this scam going on.
Katelyn Wilson, CTV News.
It gives the churches and the mosques a chance to earn some extra income the way things are. If everything's so tight with money, they should have did this a long time ago.
Well, up next, some possible parking relief as public servants return to the office. We'll have more on a city committee voting to move forward with a plan to allow parking space rentals at places of worship and some city facilities. Well, this is a look at tonight's 8th annual Partage Beechwood fundraising dinner taking place on the mausoleum grass at Beechwood Cemetery. Hosted by the Vanier BIA, the Morocco-themed 5-course long dinner table helped raise $80,000 to support the Partage Vanier Food Bank. Federal workers returning to the office know that finding a weekday downtown parking spot can be a leap of faith. Now, a plan approved by a city committee to open parking spots at places of worship may be the answer to their prayers. CTV's Austin Lee has the details.
If you have to park in Ottawa's downtown core, you've probably been there. Driving around, searching for a place to park, and when you find one, having to pay a considerable amount for the day. If you want to rent a space monthly,
most places are wait lists. Some places have just closed their wait lists altogether because there's too many people on them. You can find some people who live in condo buildings are renting spaces, but some of those are a little bit sketchy.
And as public servants spend more time in the office, parking is a hot commodity.
I'm not really sure what the answer is, but yeah, it's gonna pose a big problem.
A city committee says part of the answer could be allowing places of worship in the downtown core or within 600 meters of public transit stations to rent unused parking spaces until the end of March, without the need for a business license.
The city should have done this a long time ago. There's so many parking lots downtown, but the problem with the parking lots downtown is too expensive.
The Ottawa Muslim Association has been renting out space in its parking lot near Tunney's pasture for years. Soon, others could be able to do the same.
It gives the churches and the mosques a chance to earn some extra income the way things are. If everything's so tight with money, they should have did this a long time ago. Waive the permits for places of worship for this cause.
Parking lots at 6 city facilities across Ottawa would also be freed up for parking spot rentals this fall.
Every little bit helps. I mean, if you've got a piece of property or you've got a parking stall that's not doing anything, I mean, you can make some money off it and help somebody out.
The plan will now go to City Council for a final vote. Austin Lee, CTV News.
All right, it's time now for another check on the weather. Let's check in with Jackie Paris for a look at your extended forecast. Jackie.
Well, taking a closer look, we should say, of the next 24 hours. 7 a.m. is going to be nice, sunny skies, 14 degrees. There isn't much in terms of wind for our Thursday, but by the noon hour, mainly sunny skies, 21. We are getting to a daytime high of 24. There could be some humidex levels as well, getting to about 27, 28. Again, kind of similar to today. There could be isolated pop-up thunderstorms moving through. We're keeping a very close eye on this, but by the evening, it will be cloudy or partly cloudy skies, 19 degrees as well by the 8 o'clock hour. So bring the umbrella just in case you don't want to be without it. Very similar to what we saw today. A closer look at these conditions. Where exactly will this be? Well, we could see some isolated pop-up showers happen between 2 o'clock and 5 p.m. And this could be around the Smiths Falls area, perhaps the Valley, looking at Brockville as well. Just north of it. We are keeping a close eye as well. It shouldn't last very long, as mentioned, and as we get into the next several days, we are anticipating sunnier conditions as well for Eastern Ontario. When we look at tonight's lows across the province, or the region, I should say, 12 degrees along the Seaway, even here in Ottawa. Bancroft, single digits at 8 degrees. Montreal, though, sitting around 13 degrees. Those overnight clear skies will change for tomorrow. We will start off sunny, more cloud cover will roll in by the time we get to the afternoon. Now, really across Eastern Ontario, 24 degrees, the anticipated daytime high, humidex levels feeling closer to 27, 28. A closer look at what we can see the following day. So Friday, midnight, moving through into 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. We could start to see some cloud covers rolling in through the valley, but Ottawa, mainly sunny skies. Again, by the time the valley sees 5 o'clock, we could see some isolated showers as well moving in. But the good news is, for the most part, at least until the weekend, we are anticipating mainly sunny skies. So things will be around 24 for our Thursday and our Friday. But by the time Saturday rolls around at 27 degrees, the anticipated daytime high. Sunday, though, the return of showers is a possibility with 60% chance of showers.
Well, thank you, Jackie. Well, in their push to defend the CPL Cup this season, Atletico Ottawa hosting Vancouver FC tonight at TD Place with positioning for the fourth and final playoff spot in play.
Takes on Campagna, Florio Chateau's done it again!
Hometown hero Ottawa's Nicolas Florio-Chateau pokes it past Vancouver's defense to make it 3-0 at the time. Now for Atletico, they'd add another one en route to a huge 4-0 win. That's 3 big points for Ottawa, and they now swap places with Vancouver in the standings to now sit in third. Atletico will hit the road next to Calgary, and that'll be to play the Cavalry on Saturday.
I think it's great. I think it's super necessary.
Right, coming up, as bike lanes are removed in parts of Ontario, millions are being spent to build more here in Orleans. A city committee has sent a high-rise development proposal in Orleans back to city staff for additional review. The proposed 5-building development includes 1,500 residential units. It has 136 visitor parking spaces, but no spots for residents. Concerns have been raised about the lack of parking. The applicant will work with city staff to make changes to the proposal before submitting it again for city approval. While the province has been given the go-ahead to rip up bike lanes in parts of Ontario, the federal government is pitching in just over $5 million for a new bike path network in Ottawa's East End. New dedicated bike infrastructure separated from traffic will be built along 2 busy roads in Orleans at a price of $10.9 million. CTV's Peter Sperling has the details.
Orleans resident Rob Atrell, bikes everywhere.
For the last 2 years, it's been a car replacement, so it's avoided us buying a second car.
From commuting for work, getting groceries, even medical appointments.
You name it, I've done it.
He wants to see better cycling infrastructure.
So Bike Ottawa and the community association I'm part of have been advocating for a few years now to see cycling infrastructure. The kind doesn't really matter to us as long as it is, separated, safe, all ages and abilities.
Now, the federal government and the city investing millions to help build bike lanes along 2 busy stretches of road in the city's East End, along sections of Orleans and Jeanne d'Arc Boulevards.
Safe, separated infrastructure for both cyclists and pedestrians will make it easier for people of all ages and abilities to travel throughout the community without relying on a vehicle.
According to the area councillor, the details are still being finalized, but the new cycling network could use the city's right-of-way along the existing road.
Having cycling features that are segregated, separate not only from the sidewalk to allow pedestrian safety, but also far away from the cars.
While many welcome the idea,
bike lanes, I think, are good.
I know there's a need. It's a very busy street.
At a cost of about $10.9 million, including $5.1 from the feds, not all are sold.
I think the money could be spent better elsewhere, to be quite honest with you. I mean, there's lots of pathways in Orleans. I don't really think they need to add more bike lanes.
As for Trell, he's looking forward to it.
I think it's great. I think it's super necessary.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
It's fewer adults in the school, it's heavier workloads, it's good unionized jobs disappearing from communities.
All right, coming up, as students return to class in a few weeks, a number of education unions in the province remain without a contract. We're just weeks away from the expiration of labor contracts for teachers' unions in this province, and that's set to happen just days before the start of the school year, leading to some uncertainty about what that could mean for teachers and students. CTV's Siobhan Morris has more.
With the return of school routine creeping closer, it's becoming clear that none of Ontario's education unions will have a contract in place in time for the first bell.
Something that I did this summer.
Existing deals expire at the end of August. Negotiations are stuck working out how they'll be organized, waiting for the Labour Relations Board to weigh in.
We're not even arguing about how these issues are going to ultimately be resolved. We're arguing about where we're allowed to bargain them in the first place.
Teachers' unions say that list of issues is long, boiling down to being asked to do more with less.
It is the student waiting longer for help. It's fewer adults in the school. It's heavier workloads. It's good unionized jobs disappearing from communities.
The Minister of Education unavailable for an interview today, but writes in a statement that bargaining is at an early stage. He has expressed optimism for reaching a deal.
I want the absolute best for teachers, and I want a fair deal for taxpayers. And I think we're going to get there. There'll be some tough negotiations, obviously, but they're always tough.
Any work stoppage or other workplace action by teachers would be way down the road. But public elementary teachers will vote on the possibility of a strike this fall.
We're hoping that if we do engage in the strike vote process, that process does pressure the government to say our members are serious.
Unions are bracing for a barrage of government ads. CTV News has obtained a script from one potential ad that was being prepared last month, targeting sick days, proposing notes be required.
That's a distraction intended to move us away from talking about the real issues impacting our schools.
Paul Calandra emphasizes that teachers' unions have been running their own ads for more than a year and says the government has a responsibility to address inconsistent attendance. Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
We learn how to use all the different types of lures.
Well, coming up, these Ottawa kids cast their rods while learning new skills at a unique summer program. Well, this is another live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam, sitting now at 15 degrees, clear conditions here in the capital. We'll have one more check on the weather. Let's see what Jackie has to say for our final look at weather. Jackie.
Well, wake-up conditions, sunny skies, 14 degrees to kick things off, but we are warming up to about, 24 degrees. Humidex levels feeling closer to 27, 28. You might want to bring that umbrella, though. There is a slight chance we could see some isolated showers move through eastern Ontario, perhaps like we saw today, just randomly popping up. The good news is it won't last very long. Friday, sunshine in store, 24 degrees, the anticipated daytime high. It's going to be much warmer for Saturday with 27 degrees and sunshine.
Thanks, Jackie. It's a summer camp with a hook.
On the first time, I was kind of nervous, I guess, and I caught 5 fish. Fishing kind of gives you a thrill. The camp really, it's just fun.
Well, this is the Ottawa Fish School in action today at Dow's Lake. Kids aged 9 to 14 of all experience levels get outdoors to learn about nature and catching fish. It's organized in partnership with the Dovercourt Recreation Centre. The kids learn how to tie knots, place lures and how to cast their rods. Pretty cool. Kind of wish they had this for adults because I've never been fishing and I've always wanted to learn how to do that. All right, well, that's CTV News for this Wednesday, August 19th. For all of us here at CTV News, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow night.